Thank you, Madam Chairman. General Murray, the Army has used the reserves and National Guard forces extensively for over 20 years to support the global war on terror. However, I'm concerned that they have not adapted to supporting them with the same training and assets if they were an active component. I'll give you an example. There are 8 Army National Guard combat aviation brigades with 4 battalions of 864 Apache helicopters, each only manned by 18 aircraft instead of the 24 typical of an active duty battalion. The number used to be higher with 8 battalions of Apaches all manned with 24 at one time. The reduction itself was a blow to readiness for the National Guard, but we've heard that the Army now plans to phase out its own supply of D-model Apaches without offering conversions of those aircraft to National Guard, which would bring the brigades back to full strength. So is there any reason why they can't be transferred to the National Guard, those aircraft?
And I'm going to ask General Peterson, an aviator, to chime in here, Senator. One thing that I will say before I turn it over to him is that, at least from my perspective, you look at things like rearm, which I know came up in this morning's hearing as well. The Army views that as compo agnostic. So regardless of compo, the unit that is going first, give it a war plan, give it a contingency, gets the most modern equipment the Army can possibly provide. A lot of the Echo model that you're talking about, which is replacing the Delta, is a conversion. So my guess is units across the Army are short as we send Delta models back to the factory to be refurbished as Echoes.
Go ahead.
Senator, apologize if somehow a disinformation campaign struck there. The bottom line is we are absolutely committed to staying on track to completely fielding our National Guard.
Back to 24?
Absolutely,
24.
Absolutely. We are committed and we are resourced to do so. Currently, the plan is to buy out the age 64E by 25 with fielding in the next couple of years. The active component will retain 2 D-model equipped units, but the Guard will be fully resourced with their full battalions and the most modern
That's good news.
capability.
Yeah,
and we are not diverting from that. That is not a new plan. We are rigidly sticking to it, and our chief.
Well, I have no idea how the absolutely erroneous information got out, but we'll try to track it back.
I'll help you
That's
knock
a
that
culprit.
one down. Thank you.
Let me ask this question if I can. General Peterson, is probably for you too. The Army's future fighting force message has been to strengthen existing alliances, develop new partnerships, increase readiness, and build a more lethal force. Every day I'm reminded how vulnerable we are from the cyber, and I'm on the cyber committee and chair that subcommittee. And I'm deeply concerned with the cybersecurity capacity and capabilities to operate seamlessly with our civilian partners. And I view the capabilities of the National Guard in the cyber domain as critical enablers to support the local authorities and to influence national security both abroad and domestically. So my question would be, as part of the future 2028 Army concept, how do you see the National Guard being used to influence cybersecurity?
Senator, thank you for that question. With respect to our overarching cyber approach and strategy, there are multiple components of that. First is the people component, which involves force structure and training and recruiting and certainly retention of the very talented professionals associated with those unique skill sets, which also have exceptionally high demand and competitive salaries in the civilian world. And I know that our Army is taking that under our talent management strategies very, very seriously. We have stood up cross components, new structures and new organizations that optimize the cyber teams in various locations. I do not recall the specific number that are in the National Guard, but I know that they have been resourced and continue to flesh out those teams. With respect to the specific implementation of the equipping or modernization side, I would ask if we could speak in another forum or session to talk about the determined investments that we continue to make in that realm that bring us capabilities that keep us relevant and apace with the specific threats.
Hey, Mr. Bush, my time is running out real quick. Reframing from stagnation in research and development and doctrine is critical to efficiency and survivability of any organization, as we know. My question would be, what participation from the other services is there with Project Convergence on ensuring acquisition is conducted with joint interoperability in mind? We have such a difficult situation here and challenge, it seems like.
Yes, Senator, if I could, I'll start briefly and then turn that to General Murray, if that's okay, as
Sure.
the person in charge of Project Convergence. We are constantly working with the other services across R&D efforts. I cannot say we're perfectly synchronized, but we do meet often and have tried to leverage each other's efforts where we're doing that, especially in the realm of command and control, which I think General Murray can talk to with regard to JADC2 and Project Convergence.
And Senator, Project Convergence deals primarily with early S&T R&D efforts, and so very low technology readiness levels. I think the place where the services get the most benefit of the working together is in a place at Aberdeen Proving Ground we call the Joint Systems Integration Lab, where we have the opportunity to come together and understand at the very beginning what's going to work together well and what's not going to work. And so instead of stovepipe developmental systems that we have to tie together once we've produced it, we figured out how to tie things together at the very beginning. There's a tremendous amount of learning in a lot of areas, to include what is being pursued from a research development, test, and evaluation perspective by the services, and there's open sharing of good ideas and ways to proceed.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.